লাইভ হৈছে কথাবোৰ নকবা একদম চুপ ওকে 8 minutes
This call is now being recorded.
Deborah desk yakında koyalım. Full hızlısın. Mesaj distraction. Deborah de trying to end the meeting. You miss. Perfect now. Perfect now.
Hello, Adnaja, have you joined? Okay, just a second. Hi. Few participants. Just a second. Okay, just try to join. Try to join.
Someone to heal me, Bahona. Reason করা থেমনে reason dia mulai boleh ini pun sampai hemat kita apa is perfect noise kembali
Good evening, dear participants. Actually, our research person is trying to join our webinar and she is not being able to join us. And that's why we are taking 2 more minutes. Please bear with us. Research person mana ki mas sampai dia saling
তাই কৰাই দিম না প্ৰফেচৰ নেকি তাই তোমাৰ নিচিনা আকৌ বৰষুণ দিলে এডমিট কৰো নে দেন এন্ট্ৰি কৰিলো একত সাংক জইন কৰিব কৈছে
Yes, sir.
हाँ सर सर हाँ sir.
Should I start?
Sir,
Is there any problem?
yes, actually our research person, she's trying to join, but she's not being able to join us, and that's why we're waiting for her, sir.
Okay.
Yeah, she's trying. I mean, I have seen her, but somehow she's not being able to join, and that's why I'm waiting for her, sir. It's taking a
Okay.
long time. I'm really very sorry for that. দেবব্রত দাস এখানে অ্যাডমিট কৰিবা অ্যাডভান্স ওকে
Monica.
না দেবব্রত দাস
Madam, my name is President.
ডিনাই কৰিলা অকল দেবব্রত দাস দেখিলে এডমিট কৰিবা
দুবার ভুলতে করি
কৰিব নালাগিছিলে
মানে ইমান জোৰে কৰি আছো মোৰ মানে মাথাটো গৰম উঠি
দেবব্রত দাস
বার্থডে আমার মদিখন
মাতিব নোৱাৰো নহয় ইয়াৰ মানুহ ৰখি আছে এক ছেকেণ্ড দিয়া
মই কৰি আছো ন জি পাৰো এই যে মদিখন Llama Sales. Uhi uthile. He was sent to the Indian laboratory for the video. সিটটো আমি বেয়া কথা কৈ আছো ইয়াতে গৈ থাকিব না মই কৰি আছো জানো
মানৱীয় কলিতা আৰু আত্মজা দাস
মোক জইন কৰিব বুলি কৈছে শেষ হৈ যায় তাক এটা মেছেজ দিছো দেৱৰাটো আকৌ দিয়া আকৌ জইন হোৱা কোৱা ইয়া আহিব
Yes, Atmaja. Yes, sir. Hello, Atmaja. What? Yeah. Why is it? I mean, do you have some other email ID? Like, let me know. Like, you try from the Biohazard's mail ID. It is not allowing to join you now. What to do now? Yeah, Atmaja, I'm really worried now. Not opening, right? Do you have some other mail ID? Like your mother might have some other mail ID or your father? Try with some other mail ID and let me know what is the name of that mail ID. Because I have denied probably. That's why it is showing you like that. Okay. Okay. So do you have any other email ID with? Okay. Maybe that I can do. Let me invite you. Just a second. Tell me your mail ID. Maybe I can invite you. People are trying, I'm getting worried now. It's been half an hour. Yeah, 20 minutes have gone. I'm really worried now. What to do? I don't know here. This webinar is going to be. Just a second. How to invite here? I'm really getting worried. I'm really sorry to say, but our resource person is somehow not being able to join. So what I'm doing is I'm trying to close this meeting for a while, and then again I will open this for you all. So please bear with us, please bear with all our lapses, and please try to join this meeting once again. I'm really very sorry on behalf of our college. Please.
Ini wisdom dulu ya. Ada orang baca lagi wisdom sahaja.
Yes, sir.
Rafiq.
Hello, sir. এজনো পৰা নাই তাৰমানে কি হ'ল মানুহখিনি মই কৈছোৱে তেওঁলোকক যে আপোনালোকে 5 মিনিট আগত প্লিজ জয়েন কৰক তেওঁলোক মানে দেৰি জয়েন কৰাত বহুত বেছি দেৰি কৰি দিছে আৰু ইতিমধ্যে মানুহ ইমান বেছি আহিছে ইমানৰ মাজত মানে কোনজন হেৰি মই বিচাৰি উলিয়াব নোৱাৰিলো কি হ'ব জানো ছাৰ আজিৰ এইখন এতিয়া লাজৰ কথা হ'ল হয় ছাৰ আচ্ছা আচ্ছা 5টা বজাত ৰিজাইন কৰিবলৈ কৈ দিও নেকি 5টা বজাত আধা ঘণ্টা পিছত তেওঁলোকলে মই এটা ইনভিটেশন এটা পঠিয়াব লাগিব তাৰমানে এই মেইল আইডিটোৰ পৰা মই তাকে চাই আছো কেনেকৈ আকৌ ৰিইনভাইট কৰো মই কৈছোৱে অকমান আগত জয়েন কৰিবা ইমান মানুহে হেৰি কৰিছে বেয়া হয় কথাটো আজি কিন্তু হয় ছাৰ ৰাতিপুৱা মই ক্লাছটো কৰোঁতেও মই ভাবিছো আজি যে পাৰিম মানে তাকে চাম মোৰে কাম নাই কৰা এনেকুৱা চিটুৱেশ্যন প্ৰথম হৈছে মই বিৰাট লাজো পাইছো বেয়াও লাগিছে মই মানুহখিনি 1000ৰ ওপৰৰ মানুহ দিয়কচোন চবেই ৱেইট কৰি আছে ন চাবৰ কাৰণে আধা ঘণ্টা সময় এটা মই টোটেলি ৱেষ্ট কৰিছো চোন ছাৰ এতিয়া 4:30 হৈছে 4:26 কথা আৰু সবেই ইমান ট্ৰাই কৰি আছে মই মানে মোৰটোৱে মোৰ কাম নাই কৰা তাৰমানে মোৰ ৰিসোৰ্স পাৰ্সনজনক মানে মই বিচাৰি উলিয়াব পৰা নাই ইমান মানুহে ট্ৰাই কৰিছে যে মই মানে হেৰি কৰিব পৰা যায় কৰিছো তেওঁলোকে ফোন কৰি আছে যে আমি ট্ৰাই কৰি আছো কিন্তু আমি পৰা নাই Good evening, everyone. Sorry for the disturbances. And our resource person has joined. So now we're going to start our webinar, but we're waiting for the other participants to join us once again.
গোটে খেয়ে মোবাইলটা দিয়ে আসা বাকি কিছু কত
Namaskar and good evening to one and all present here in this national webinar on environment towards a greener world organized by Institutional Biotech Hub Bahona College in association with Students Grievance Redressal Cell IQAC Bahona College on the occasion of this World Environment Day that is on 5th of June 2021. Respected our principal sir, Dr. Prasanna Kumar Datta of our college, respected IQAC coordinator sir and HOD Department of Economics, Dr. Rafiq Ahmed San, our resource persons, Ms. Atmaja Abhirupa Das from West Bengal and Mr. Manavendra Kalita, Assistant Professor from DK College, Mirza, Assam, all my colleagues and my students from our institute and also all the learned academicians and students across our country and also participants from different other countries like Philippines, Norway, Bangladesh, Saudi Arabia, etc. I am Dr. Sangeeta Das, Assistant Professor from the Department of Botany and also the Coordinator of Institutional Biotech Hub, takes this opportunity to welcome all of you on this virtual meeting platform of Google Meet. And now I would like to request without delaying, as we have already wasted half an hour, our respected Principal Sir to kindly inaugurate this national webinar and also to present his inaugural speech. Sir, please.
Thank you, Samita. Good evening. I, the principal of Bahona College, take great pleasure in welcoming our esteemed resource persons, Ms. Atmaja Abhirupadas, member Indian Bird Consumption Network, and a student of class 8, Vidyasagar Sishu Niketan, West Bengal, and Mr. Manavendra Kalita, Assistant Professor of Biotechnology, Dakshin Kamrup College, Assam, into our midst. I also welcome the large number of participants from across the country and abroad joining us on this national webinar on environment towards a greater greener world. It gives me further pleasure that the institutional biotech hub of the college, which has consistently worked towards advancement of biological science through both academic and extension activities, has organized this webinar on the occasion of World Environment Day in association with Student Grievance Redressal Cell of IQAC of this college. Established in the year 1966, Bahona College has worked tirelessly towards providing quality education in both arts and science stream to students from all sections of society. Initially established to provide higher education to a large rural belt in Jorhat, a city in the Upper Assam, we are now one of the pioneering institutions of higher education with students from many districts of Assam and neighboring states. The college has been organizing many seminars and workshops through offline or online mode. This webinar on the theme mentioned is extremely relevant in today's context as we have seen that so-called today's civilized man has modified the natural environment as per his needs to such extent that it becomes intolerable to live in for many animals, including man itself. All the, all the components of environment are affected by several factors nowadays. The land is polluted by millions of tons of solid waste disposed from mines and urban centers, while industries and cities discharge enormous quantity of liquid waste outside their locations. In the same way, air is polluted by burning fossil fuels and waste materials. The major environment problems arising out of improper utilization of earth capital and natural resources are loss of biodiversity, waste production, air pollution, water pollution, and many more. But what are the remedial measures to be taken for restoration of our environment? These are practically well demonstrated by a tiny microorganism called coronavirus. Many studies from all over the world have reported that the pandemic has brought about significant reduction in environmental pollution. So we should avoid what is happening around us. Individuals of schools, villages, urban centers, etc. should realize the importance of day-to-day environmental issues and should follow the environmental conservation principles and create awareness among family members. The theme of this year very rightly shows as ecosystem restoration. The people should take a combined responsibility for the deteriorating environment and begin to take appropriate actions to save the earth. In this context, this webinar becomes extremely important, and I am confident that the esteemed resource persons here with their expertise will help in guiding the way forward. I thank the organizer of this webinar and wish a very meaningful and interactive environmental day. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for inaugurating our webinar and also for addressing our online audience with your valuable inaugural speech. And now I would like to request our IQAC coordinator, Dr. Rafiq Ahmed sir. Sir is also HOD Department of Economics. So I'd like to request sir to kindly present welcome address to all our online audience. Sir.
Thank you, Sangeeta. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Honorable Principal of College, as well as Inaugurator Program, Dr. Prasanna Kumar Datta, respected resource persons of today's program, Manabendra Kolita, Assistant Professor, Department of Biotechnology, Dakshin Kamrup College, Mirza, Assam, and Atmaja Obhirpa Das, member of Indian Bird Conservation Network, Vidyasagar Sishu Niketan, Midnapur, West Bengal. Dr. Sangeeta Das, coordinator, Biotech, and also organizing secretary of this program. She is convener of Students Grievance Redressal Cell, IQAC, Bahona College. Respected participants from different parts of the country and also from abroad. Bahona College is located in a rural area Upper Assam on the southern bank of mighty Brahmaputra, just 8 kilometers away from the district headquarters, Jorhat. The college was set up in the year 1966 with the effort of 1,000 hands under the leadership of three dignitaries, Ram Kumar Dua, the founder principal, late Dulal Chandra Barua, ex-PWD Minister Dr. Government of Assam, and late Ganesh Chandra Datta, a renowned advocate. Since then, it has a glorious path of development, celebrating its golden jubilee in the year 2016. With two streams, arts and science, present students' strength of the college is more than 1,200 and faculty strength is 48. In 2015, won the second cycle of assessment and was awarded B+, which reflects vision and mission. In 2004, the IPS has been accomplishing a series of academic research and extension activities for quality enhancement and sustenance, most of the times in association with some agencies. In this work environment, we are glad to have with us the distinguished resource person, Manavendra Kolita, Assistant Professor of Department of Biotechnology, Dr. Kandur College, Mirza, Assam. On behalf of the college community, I welcome you to this national webinar as well as to our. Ladies and gentlemen, this webinar is very special, not only for topical issues that it discusses, but also because we welcome here a very specific member of Biohazard Group, student of Vidyasagar Niketan, Midnapur, West Bengal. Another is young biochemist working for to is young from Switzerland, Kangutam from Nipur, Jordan Sanchez from environmental conservation. So I welcome our young experts to our college as well as this. Respected presidency here acclaimed the major part of success of this occasion. I also welcome all of you to be with us here in this wonderful event. Assembly sub-environment in the the past day of the form conference on human. This day is observed on the 5th June, that is today, every year to remind people about the importance of nature. The day is celebrated across the world to inform people that nature should not be taken for granted and must be respected for its values, for a healthy life and for science. The environment plays an important role. Like that, the difference between animals and humans is that animals sense themselves for the environment, the humans sense the environment for themselves. But we should reverse our thinking. We for environment, not environment for us. The theme of World Environment Day 2021 is ecosystem restoration. It can take in trees, green trees, rewilding gardens, diets, or clean up rivers and coasts. All these are key for environment. On this, okay, to see and with the presence of the resource person and giving to the society, ignorant environment, which is the primary ecosystem restoration. I would like to thank Dr. Sangeeta Das, the coordinator of Biotech Hub Bahona College, to organize and for giving the openly collaborate with. In this seminar is Activity for is the prime factor for and that is largest and it is the winner for us to make for to enrich this With this basis, let's conclude my words here. Wells, you and also to program day. Thank you all. Over to Samita.
Thank you so much, sir, for your valuable speech and also for welcoming all our guests and participants of this national webinar. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to start our webinar. And to begin with, we now have with us Ms. Atmoza Abhirupa Das from West Bengal. Ms. Atmoza, she is a member of Indian Bird Conservation Network and she is just a student of class 8 and she is studying in Vidyasagar Shishu Niketan in Midnapur, West Bengal. And today she will be delivering her lecture on the topic Impact of Birds on Ecosystem and an Environmental Approach. So with this few words, Atmoza, I welcome you to this national webinar. And now I would like to hand over this platform to you. Please continue.
Thank you, ma'am. And actually, I am conducting from my laptop and mobile both, and you have figured somehow I lost my laptop connection, so I am not switching on my video now. As soon as I regain my connection, I will switch on my video.
Sure, we would like to see you.
I hope my audio is okay.
Yes, it is. Please continue.
Okay, so I can start now. So I hope it is visible.
Yes, it is.
And before starting anything, first of all, I'd like to thank Bahona College, Assam, for giving me such a good opportunity to show you all my thoughts on this World Environment Day. So as you all may have known, my topic is impact of birds on ecosystem and environmental approach. So first of all, World Environment Day, as it was formally told, is celebrated everywhere on 5th June to raise the awareness of people regarding the protection of the environment. So environment is a vast topic actually. We all live in our surroundings, from a tiny ant to the big trees, from everything that is living around is the environment we are living in. So, this topic I have chosen, the impact of birds on ecosystem. So, ecosystem impact directly impacts the environment we are living in. So, that's why I chose such kind of a topic. And as it was told, this year's Environment Day is restoring your environment. Now, the first question arises here is restoring. The word restoring, why to restore and what has happened that we have to restore our environment? So, our environment has started deteriorating day by day. From the day humans have started modernizing, from the day we have started learning new things, inventing new things, environment has little by little started getting polluted. When we started inventing rubber or polythene, that time people thought that these were very good alternatives, etc. But now we are seeing the after effects. The oceans have gotten full, filled with polythene and plastic, etc. Then people want to get rid of plastics and rubber bags, etc. after they are worn out, but they are biodegradable, so we can't get actually rid of them easily. So people try to burn them, and that releases gases in the environment. Then when people started to use coal for industry, that time These non-renewable resources also started emitting different chemicals type of gases when they were used in industry. So there are many other things. So we can conclude that when man has started inventing new things, he has started eroding the nature. Due to different anthropogenic activities, nature has started getting eroded. So this erosion is not a very fast or big process. It is a very slow process that first of all doesn't catch anyone's attention. But as day by day goes, it catches our attention and we find that this is not a very good process. So after man started discovering new things and eroding the nature, we are not knowing that the nature has gotten eroded and we are not seeing the slight changes, but the consequences or the afterward will be noticed after a few days. So we are not noticing the changes because we all have heard about slow poisoning. So arsenic album is a slow poison. So whenever it is given to some people, then the first of all the patient does not recognize it as well. So day after day, when the medicine is injected into your body, when you consume the medicine, day after day it starts to poison you. And when the poison reaches to such a level, then you get to know that there is poison in your body, but you can't do anything. So the eroding or the erosion of nature has reached such a case. We are eroding nature. The consequences we are facing now, those are very slight consequences. We are noticing something. But when we will notice something, that will be too late to do anything. So now we are saying that oceans have started getting so much polluted and plastics have been found in ocean. Then ships that carry crude oil. Ships carry crude oil. When crude oil leaks into the ocean, it pollutes the whole ocean with oil. So we have gotten many news that animals and birds have been seeing that ocean has been polluted and animals and birds and fishes are dying. But just imagine one thing that we all also go to swim in the ocean. If that time crude oil has leaked, then we will also get trapped in the oil. So there are many cases like that, but those come very less into attention. Then, so as it is written here that the present consequences we are facing are hazardous, but we still are handling through it. But we know that handling someone's cliff, at the last bit when your hand releases the cliff, you fall down. So this is the same case. When the chances will be very bad, that time there will be nothing to do. And now we are facing different consequences, like different tsunamis, natural disasters, hurricanes, cyclones, tornadoes, droughts, etc. The diseases, pandemics, epidemics, the corona has came now. Now these are the present consequences, but in future, you think about something that consequences we will face that are because of sorry, in Bengali we use one word, Sigarpai Kurumara, that means bringing the disaster to yourself, inviting the disaster to yourself. So for you can
తర్వాత ఇట్లా గాలి వేసుకునే చోట మగవాళ్ళని రానికుండా వేసుకున్న తర్వాత ఇంట్లో పెద్దవాళ్ళు ఎవరైనా ఉంటే తాతయ్యలు అట్లాంటి వాళ్ళకి దండం పెట్టాలి. వేసుకున్న తర్వాత ఆయనకే కాళ్ళ దండం పెట్టాలి. అసలు ఎంత బాగా రాశారండి. మాట్లాడకూడదు గాలి వేసుకునేటప్పుడు వేసుకుంటారు. ఆవిడ పెట్టింది ఇప్పుడు ఆడేస్తున్నారు. ఆడపిల్లలు అలా తయారయ్యారు తల్లులు అని Ah,
Dr. Dash?
చాలా చదువుతుంటే నిజంగా అయ్యో అనిపించింది. మా చిన్నతనంలో అలాగా మా తాతయ్య వాళ్ళ ఇంటికి వచ్చేవాళ్ళు అట్లాగే బండి మీద. వాడు 4, 5 డజన్లే తెచ్చేవాడు ఒక బాక్స్ లాంటి దాంట్లో.
I request everyone to please mute your mic. Otherwise, I'll have to remove you. Please cooperate with us. We are already running late. Atmaja, you please continue. Sorry for the disturbance.
Yes, ma'am. And so I think we'll start the session. So as I was there, so I think I should continue now. So we are facing global warming nowadays. There are many news we are hearing that global warming is happening, then ice polar caps are also melting, then the water level is rising due to floods are coming, etc. Now there are many other chances that if the polar caps will melt, the polar caps have bacteria, not only bacteria, different microorganisms captured in them from the past. And if the polar caps will melt, the bacteria or the microorganisms will come in contact with us. And that may cause further pandemics or epidemics. So, like this, there are many other consequences that have been noticed or that may occur if we keep on doing this. Here you can see one picture, and after 1 year each in a photograph, you can see that the area that has been shown is restoring itself. So whenever nature gets deteriorated, nature rebuilds or restores itself, if not further deteriorated. So nature has this unique ability to restore itself even from, if you can take an example that 100% of the components of nature, if 95% of the components are gone, then nature can rebuild itself from the 5%. So that is a very interesting phenomenon of nature. And how does nature rebuild itself? Nature's components, that are the biotic factors as well as the abiotic factors, both the factors work together to again reconstruct nature. So we humans actually can't restore the environment or the nature like nature itself does. We can help nature restore itself, but we can't fully restore nature. Now, for an example, we all know about Chernobyl. So, on Saturday, April 1986, in Chernobyl, there was a big nuclear accident. So, there was a testing of a nuclear reactor and it went wrong. So, it released radioactivity into the surrounding areas, and all the houses, that there was a little village near Chernobyl. So, all the houses were uninhabited and like in 4 weeks. And after 35 years, so 2021 has been 35 years after the accident. So when scientists thought that we can now visit Chernobyl, they thought that Chernobyl would have become a complete deserted area. It is common for humans to think because when a nuclear reaction goes off or goes wrong, that time it is very dangerous to go to that area. Genetic mutations occur, then different diseases take place. So even after 35 years, it is very difficult to go there. So there was one area was labeled as Chernobyl Exclusive Zone, CZ. So in that area, the scientists or people thought it would have gotten into a deserted land. But they saw something that was quite opposite. Chernobyl has transformed itself into a complete high-range biodiversity area or biodiversity land. So several different species that were very rare were found in Chernobyl. And there are different images that compare Chernobyl that was before Chernobyl's accident and after Chernobyl's nuclear accident. So it was fully covered in plants, And different animals, like Lusky's horse, this species is endangered, but it has survived and thrived in this area. Then from tiny ants to big trees, from tiny algae to apex predators such as wolves and lynxes are also found here. When chemistry has completely transformed itself into a whole biological chained area. Sorry. And you can imagine that an area where humans have uninhabited area for 35 years, where there is no human interaction, or actually I would tell no humans to disturb the nature. Nature has rebuilt itself. This is a great example of what I told in the previous slide. Different animals were found there, so you can see black grouse were found, foxes, wolves, boars, etc. Now, one question arises here that animals have gotten their home or have thrived in Chernobyl, but where there are no infections, where there are no diseases caused, there were diseases caused. Different mutations, like genetic mutations, were seen in some animals. Then albinism was seen, but the positive factor was that more number of animals were seen healthy thriving there than the muted animals. And scientists believe that after more years, if humans can't go there, then animals, then the mutations will be very less, and animals will completely thrive that area. So Chernobyl exclusive zone is now regarded as a big biodiversity zone in Ukraine. So Chernobyl was in Ukraine. So you can see that this is such a great example that nature reveals itself, and humans are not needed to reveal. Nature can itself reveal. And as you know that I have chosen a topic that the impact of birds on ecosystem. Now, my topic and birds, they come related here. So as I told that nature can reveal itself, restore itself, and nature's components, means the biotic and the abiotic factors do it. Birds are one of the greatest examples or one of the greatest factors that act as environment restorers. So that is where birds come in my presentation. So if you have seen the chronological order or the geochronological order, then you would know, or if you are a student of geological history, then you would know that birds have come way earlier than humans. Than the species Homo sapiens, birds have come way earlier. And that is the reason birds or any other animals are more accustomed with the environment. They know each and every nook and corner of the environment. And hence they can restore it better than us. Now, there are several factors or there are several points that we can show when we are telling about birds as environmental restorers. So how birds affect the ecosystem, how birds affect the environment. So they have a vast type of impact on the ecosystem. Sorry. So first point we can cover, that is birds as environmental indicators. So we humans, we are not that sensitive. And when there is a change in the environment or the ecosystem, we get to know it after many days or after a long time, because we are not that sensitive. But these animals or birds, they are very sensitive, and they get at slight changes they get informed that there is a change in the environment. And why I am saying that as an environmental indicator, it can impact the ecosystem. Because the ecosystem is a vast topic. Ecosystem is a connection of biotic and abiotic factors that are living together forming a whole chain of life. And any cycle in the ecosystem can either destroy it or can be good for it. And each and every character or component in the ecosystem is interrelated. Everyone depends on each other, maybe directly, maybe indirectly, but depends on each other. And each and every component, as they depend on each other, any slight change that can happen to one component affects another component. So birds are very sensitive, and hence if they know the change, then they give indications to other creatures, and like a chain, indications come to one component and then gets passed to another component. Sorry. We have heard about a game known as Chinese Whisper, when one person says one word, and then another person hears that and then passes it to another one. So this environmental chain works like that. So if we humans we don't get these signals very quickly because they are latecomers and we know the environment a lot less than they know. So when they get the chance, when they get the knowledge, they pass it to others, and others pass it to others, and it's such a chain which lastly it gets to humans, and we humans know about the change. Now, if the change is bad, we will adapt ourselves to change. If the change is good, then it is good. Then also we will adapt. So, like this, it affects the ecosystem. Now, how can we say that birds are good environmental ecosystem? Different research studies have proved that in areas where more number of woodpeckers are there, you would notice that the wood or the big trees of that area are very good. Now, kingfisher, when as I have given one picture of kingfisher, areas in which kingfishers are more, you would notice that the water bodies or the aquatic habitat of that area is very rich. You see more fishes are there. You see the water is not polluted. You see more aquatic plants are there. So in this way, birds, as being an environmental indicators, affect the ecosystem. Then the second topic are birds as seed dispersal agents. This is a very important one because most of us humans, we have eaten fruits. Every 1% of the humans in this world has one eaten of fruit. There is not no one in this world who has not even once eaten a fruit. So these fruits are formed from seeds. And we humans give birth, mammals give birth, animals give birth, but how do they reproduce? Trees produce seeds, the seeds then are dispersed and then another new tree forms. But who disperses the seeds? Seeds are dispersed in many other methods, but the method of dispersal by animals is a very interesting and a very diverse method. So birds, specifically, birds are one of the greatest seed dispersal agents. And in this slide, I would like to say that I have chosen my topic on birds because I think birds are one of the best seed dispersal agents because if you take an example that there are two islands and within the two islands there is water, then terrestrial mammals can cross the water, aquatic mammals can come on land, insects are too small to go, while humans, you take an example of humans and not there. Then there are only two methods that the seed can be dispersed. That is by the aerial method. And the aerial method, in the aerial method, bats or birds can disperse the seed. But if you take imagine that bats are not there, then only birds are there. So birds can go wherever and wherever they want. They have no boundaries. That's why they're great seed dispersal agents. They can fly and go anywhere they want, dropping the seeds here and there, and the tree gets dispersed. So, how do birds help in dispersal, and why is the dispersal by animals one of the greatest techniques? Because dispersal by animals, or if I say dispersal by birds, when the creature consumes the fruit, then the flesh of the fruit is digested by the enzymes in the stomach, but the seed has a hard outer coating. So the hard outer coating is broken by the acidic enzymes in the stomach. And as the coating is broken, and when the seed is passed out, as the coating is broken, the seed gets more open and more tough. So when it comes in contact with the soil, it has better chances to germinate. You can say 99% chance to germinate. That is why the seed dispersal by birds is a very good way to disperse the seed. And if you have studied seed dispersal by animals or by birds, you would notice that There are many different cases where birds have dispersed specific species of plants in areas that humans had not reached them. I'm not talking about the present because humans have mostly reached every area now in present condition, but when humans started exploring, I'm saying about that time, so historical records are there. So these are two very distinct examples where birds have dispersed the seeds. So the first picture on the right upper corner you are seeing is the picture of a three-wattled bellbird. So this bird is not very common. It is not found in India as well. It is and rare species of bird. So three-wattled bellbirds have been recorded to disperse the seeds of Apotia species. Apotia is a hardwoody tree and it is found in the subtropical forest. So there is a very good record that bellbirds love to transfer Apodia species everywhere in the forest. Then we come to missel thrush. As from the name you can see missel and mistletoe, the whole bird is named after the plant. So we can get a common knowledge that this bird disperses or eats the fruits of this plant. So missel thrush is seen foraging largely on the seeds or the fruits of mistletoe. And you know that mistletoe is a parasitic plant. It likes to grow on top of hardwood trees like mango, etc., etc. So mistletoes have a very, slit inside coating around the seed. And when the bird eats the flesh, the seed or the mistletoe seed, it gets dropped by the bird, and due to the sticky coating, it sticks onto the tree, and then the new plant is produced. So these are just two examples that birds can give very good seed dispersal agents. There are many more examples. Then we come to birds as agricultural pest control. Agriculture has been the main occupation of humans ever since the humans started modernizing. Ever since humans started to go to the end of the Stone Age, agriculture was the main occupation of humans. And we know everyone who has been a farmer or has interacted with a farmer, they have planted anything or have seen any agricultural plants, they will know that agricultural plants attract a large number of pests, from rats to little worms to insects, etc. And rats are a very, monstrous pests of our agriculture. And you can see the picture I have given here. This is a Cargo alba that is barred now, eating a rat or mice or mouse. So, agricultural pests are controlled by us using pesticides. Now, pesticides are very bad. Pesticides are synthetic. They have different chemicals in them, and they are not at all good for our ecosystem. Now, question will arise: why are they not good for our ecosystem? We wash the plants, then we wash the vegetables, and then we eat. So the pesticide is out from the vegetables outside. Then why is it harmful? Because when you are applying pesticide to a plant, and when imagine that rain has occurred, then the pesticide will wash off the plant and drain into the nearby water sources of the soil, polluting the soil or the water. And by any means, you will come in touch with the water. That is for sure. Maybe you are drinking from a tap, maybe you are drinking from municipality, etc. Or maybe you will have an RO in your house. Then also, it is very difficult to remove the pesticide from the water. So for this need, many people invented biological, or we would say biological pesticides or pest controllers. And different biological pesticides and controllers are different animals. Like people release their cats into house to control the mice. But cats can't go in the agricultural fields and just eat insects. So that is where birds will be introduced. So different birds are one of the most apex insectivorous in our ecosystem, and most of the birds of prey that are owls or eagles, etc., like to pest on little rodents. So this is a very common sense that birds are very good pest controllers. So for an example, In North California, vineyards are there. North California is a very good producer of grapevines, and grape juice is produced there. Now, the left-hand side picture is of a blue-green sharpshooter. Blue-green sharpshooter is a little insect that may seem little but has very bad, influence on the grapes. So, blue-green sharpshooters carry a phytopathogenic bacteria known as Xylella fastidiosa. So, fastidiosa is a very bad bacteria that causes Pierce disease. Pierce disease is a very bad, deadly disease. It is also known as grape blight or blight disease. So, these blue-green sharpshooters, they were study conducted where pesticides were given, but these blue-green sharpshooters couldn't be controlled. Then one day somebody thought, why not introduce birds? And the first bird he thought was about a bluebird. Bluebirds are little birds of the passerine family. So when bluebirds were introduced to the grapevines, there was a large decrease in the number of blue-green sharpshooters seen in the grapevine, and Pierce disease or grape blight was seen to be decreasing. Many people did many research articles on these. You can find them on internet if you go. So this is a great example that birds are very good pest controllers and how they can protect our environment from pesticides. Now, birds as pollinators. So birds as pollinators and dispersal agents are interrelated. So you're eating a fruit comes from a seed comes from a fruit, and again the fruit comes from a flower. So these are all very confusing cycle. I will not talk about those. But if the flower is not pollinated, then fruit will not come. And we know insects pollinate flowers. Insects are one of the greatest pollinators of flowers. But birds, on the other hand, pollinate flowers that have such an adaptation that insects can't break and go inside the plant. So birds like hummingbirds, then sunbirds, spider hunters, then honeysuckers, etc., or honeysuckers, etc., they have such a good adaptation, such a good body shape that they can nicely fit inside a flower. I will show you one image. You can see the lower right-hand side corner image. You can see a purple sunbird, Nectarian asiatica, ducking its head inside a kolke food. We call it kolke in Bengali, so I am telling kolke. Kolke food. So you can see the head is the perfect size to go inside the flower. And whenever the bird is drinking the nectar from the flower, the flower's pollen gets stuck onto its beak or the feathers. And by this means it gets another flower pollinated. And this is a very good, chance of pollination because it ducks its head inside the flower. So the pollination or the pollen gets stick to the flower head. And then it goes to another flower, it ducks its head into that flower also. And that is 100% chance that the flower will get pollinated if the pollen gets stick. Now, pollination for birds, you see there are different plants and birds that have gotten adapted just to pollinate, just to drink the nectar, etc. You can see the image on the left-hand side corner. These are hummingbirds, certain hummingbirds. So you can see that the flower they're about to drink the nectar from is hanging upside down. So these sunflowers have such a good adaptation that when the birds will come to drink the nectar, the pollen sac or the pollen area will burst open and it will shower pollen onto the plant. So the pollen gets stuck to the feathers. So plants and birds both have adapted in such a good way so that in ecosystem, this pollination chain is never affected. They have adapted in such a great way. Then we come to another important fact that most of the people don't pay attention. We have seen crows eating carcasses by the side of road, and that's why crows are a little, people think crows are a little dirty, and many people don't even like to see them. crows are said to be bad luck in our area. But actually, these crows or vultures, these are very helpful bird species because in former time or in the past, these references are from my father and my grandfather, what they have seen in their childhood. That during that time, vultures were abundant in their area. Nowadays, vultures have had a very nice decline in their population. They are rapidly decreasing due to poaching. Then there is another cause that during that time, carcasses, diclofenac is antibiotic type of medicine that is given to cows when they get a disease in their feet. So diclofenac, when those diclofenac cows would die, they were thrown away in dumping grounds known as bhagards in our area. So those in those bhagards, that vultures used to feed on those cows, and diclofenac affected the vultures in such a way that their eggshells that they would lay eggs, so the eggshells would be so soft that babies wouldn't hatch. So in this way, vulture population decreased. But that is another topic. So vultures, crows, and even magpies, these bird species feed intensely on dead carcass or garbages. So in some way, they're cleaning up our environment. But now you would question that I don't see any vultures cleaning in carcass beside my house because vulture population has decreased by a rapid manner. During past, when my father was little, he used to tell me stories that when they used to go to school, they used to walk by the roads and they saw like a flock of vultures, about 20 to 30 vultures. Imagine how many vultures were there. 20 to 30 vultures feeding on just on one cow carcass. And within one day, the whole carcass would be finished. So it affected the environment. When it cleaned our environment, it cleaned our ecosystem. But nowadays, due to our sowing, we have destroyed their ecosystem. We have destructed their home. And hence, their number has decreased by so much. There are no vultures left in towns or cities nowadays. But this is such a great example that vultures, crows, or any other scavenger birds are very good environmental cleaners. You can see the image vultures and crows feeding on cow carcass. Now comes the most important point, that is the environment chain and the impact of birds on the environment chain. The environment chain and the ecosystem are interrelated, as I told earlier. The ecosystem and the environment chain are related in such a manner that any slight change in both of them can cause both of the chains to collapse if there is any negative change. So birds are every component in nature is a part of the environmental chain, and birds are one of the bigger class, I would say, a very active component of the environmental chain. Now how? So birds, they have so many effects on our environment, both negative, both positive. Now, I am saying about all the positive effects now, but what is the negative effect? Yeah, if you have gone to Hyderabad or Delhi or the middle states, you would see that large number of parakeets are feeding on agricultural grains. So that makes them a pest. So I just told about birds as pest controllers, but they are a pest. But they have more of a positive impact than negative. So they are more pest controllers than pests. So there is an example I will show you. The 4 pest campaign was a great example that if you break the environmental chain, if you remove just one single component, how the whole chain collapses. So during the 1958 in China, in the Great China Republic, the great leader Mao Zedong, I think many of you have heard his name, Mao Zedong. So Mao Zedong declared that 4 species, that were rats, flies, mosquitoes, and sparrows, would be eliminated from China because rats ate up the pests and caused diseases. Mosquitoes caused malaria, flies caused diarrhea, and sparrows were eating away the food grains. Sparrows means Eurasian sea sparrow was a species that was to be eliminated. So within just 1 year, more than thousands of sparrows were eliminated and were shot. But what happened? What was the after effect? This after effect is shocking. So sparrows, they used to eat the food grains, but they were a great feeder of locust. Locust is a very bad insect. Just one swarm of locust. Just few days ago, we heard the news that locusts were invading Pakistan and agricultural fields were destroyed. So locust is such a species that is, like monster species. Just in one day, it can just finish away 10 fields. So when the sparrows were not there, the predators of locusts were not there. And the locust rose to such a number that within 1 year, all the food crops of China were finished and Chinese people had the great Chinese family. Just eliminating maybe 2,000 sparrows killed nearly 4,000 people. 4,000, I would say not. 40,000 people were killed. So this is a great example that if you destroy the nature will come to you as, a boomerang, it will destroy you. So now we shall come to the conclusion. So as a conclusion, first of all, I would say that we humans, we don't have, that kind of ability that we will restore the whole ecosystem or the environment that we have damaged. Because it has been damaged to such an extent that restoring it will be a difficult process. Will be a very difficult process. If we stop the destruction further, then also it will be very difficult. And if we don't stop the destruction, then it will just completely vanish, finished. And, birds or any other components of nature, it is not that difficult for them. Because how many trees we are cutting down, more than that, birds are dispersed in the fields more than those. But we are doing the afforestation or we are doing the deforestation in such an extent that the percent or the rate at which the birds are afforesting, that seems very less to that. So due to these causes only, nature is starting to get destructed. I told that nature itself gets restored, but we are not giving it any chance. We are not just, leaving any chance for it to be restored. We are completely destructing and destructing. We are not stopping. If we can't help restore the environment, we can't destroy it. Because anything that takes less time to destroy may take forever to restore. Something that takes 1 year to destroy may take 10 or more years to restore. Any creature in this environment is related in such a way that slight change, as I told you, just I gave you the example just earlier, like the great Chinese family. You see that sparrows face the negative effect, then humans will also face the negative effect. Many people have seen a pearl necklace. So in a pearl necklace, the beads are connected with a string. So each bead, you imagine each bead as a component of the nature and the string as the natural chain or the economical chain or the natural economical chain, I would say, or you can say about the environmental chain. Now, if one bead is taken out from the string, the whole string collapses. But it is easy to again take the bead and build another string. But nature is such a big or vast thing that it contains both biotic and abiotic factors, and that's why it is very difficult. You can't just rebuild nature. It is not very easy. It is not a piece of cake. It is very, very difficult. And many people are in many areas it is said that humans are the most intelligent creature on earth. Now, if we are that intelligent, then why we are misusing our intelligence? We have been given this superpower, this power to talk. We have been given this power to invent. Then why not use it to restore our nature? Why not use it to help restore our nature? But humans are destructing the nature day by day. And the main cause for this is the lack of awareness, the lack of knowledge for people. People don't know what may be the after effects of destructing our environment. That's why, like, today we are all gathered here for the Eve of Environment Day. Bahona College has organized such a great program. Programs like this have to be conducted. Programs like this have to be conducted to raise the awareness of people. And if people don't get the knowledge that what will happen, then they won't know that I have to stop. I have to now stop. They won't know. So, there are many things that birds teach us. Birds, we have gotten so much power. We know how to invent new things. We can plant saplings. We can, we are also doing conservation, but the birds, they don't have this many powers, but they are still restoring the nature. But we having so many chances, we are misusing them. We are not even trying to help. So my motto today for showing you all of these things was to make you understand or to justify it to you that these small creatures, these birds, they're trying their hardest to restore the environment that we have destroyed. Now, the thing we have destroyed, I think it is our responsibility to reconstruct it. Because if you think from the point of your view that what is it for me, then you would know that if nature is destroyed, you will also be destroyed. So my last word or my motto for you is that learn from the present consequences we are facing. And from now only, start protecting the environment. Start from now only, from today only. And how to protect the environment? It is simple. Just raise the awareness of people. Just plant some trees and take the first step by eliminating the things that may harm the nature. Raise your awareness and I would say that help other people realize that how precious nature is to us. So thank you. I think my lecture here has ended, and I think everyone has seen it and learned something new. And thank you, Bahona College, for giving me this good opportunity to express my thoughts on this day. So thank you again.
Thank you, Atmaza. It was a brilliant presentation. I mean, she's just a class 8 student. She has her own interest on birds. And the topic that today she has chosen for this webinar, she has really did justice to her topic. I'm really amazed to hear from you, Atmaza, and I believe our participants might have also gathered some new information from you, from your presentation. So once again, I thank you on behalf of our institute. And now, participants, if you have any query or any words of, maybe some words of appraisal for our Atmoza or anything, then you can please unmute yourself and can ask her any question. So the session is now open for discussion. You can simply unmute yourself and you can interact with our resource person. Okay, Atmaza, there is one question in a chat box by Mr. Gopi Chaudhary. He wants to know how birds' life and human lives are interrelated and in what ways. Yes, sir, please continue.
Good evening to all, ma'am. Let me introduce myself. This is Gopi Chaudhary from Andhra Pradesh state. First of all, let me wish all the dignitaries and the host who is conducting this meeting and the participant who give a lecture on the topic. So here is my question, ma'am, to the participant who gave PPT presentation and her speech. How human life and birds' life interrelated, and how, in what ways, birds are helping the human life in the ending their livelihood, etc., how both birds life and human life are related, interrelated. This is my question, ma'am.
Atmaza, would you like to take
So,
this?
as I told earlier, yes, ma'am. So, as I told earlier, that we humans and birds both are a part of the environmental chain, and
Absolutely.
both humans and birds are related in many ways. Like, for example, as I told about pollination, then seed dispersal. So, pollinations have results that are fruits. We eat fruits. Seed dispersal. If trees are not there, fruits will also not come. So these are very minor things that many people think that these are very minor things. Insects are also there. Insects will pollinate. Insects will see disperse, etc. But when the birds, if you notice the world geobird data, you will notice there that by the time bird species have been decreasing, the rate of trees or the rate of flowering trees have also decreased. I'm saying from reference, I'm saying from geological data. You can go there and search. And your next question was that how birds, what we can learn from birds. You know, what we can learn from birds. Birds have taught us many things. First, this point, many people, I have not incorporated it in my slides, that there are many people who go for bird watching. So there are different organizations who have conducted bird watching. Then there are national parks, there are sanctuaries for bird watching, etc. And when people go for bird watching, it takes a lot of patience for them. It takes a lot of patience to capture the birds. It takes a lot of patience to note down each and every bird. Then this gives you a moral of learning how to be patient. Then your next question, your next question was, I think, what we can learn from how are humans depending on birds for our sake. So birds are also an income source for us. Sanctuaries and many other areas are there where people go for bird watching. So they pay money. So they buy tickets to go inside the sanctuary or the park. This opens a chance for our future generation, for an income generation for us. It both has given many jobs to many people, also as an income source. It has helped us. And you would get an example in our area. Kulik was there, Kulik Wildlife Sanctuary. So in Kulik Wildlife Sanctuary, Kulik was not very famous actually, but in last, I would say, 5 years, many people visited Kulik, and research articles were also published about Kulik. And then after years, Kulik has now gotten very famous, and the infrastructure of that area has also become very good. So from this, you can see that birds are also an income generation for have been given a chance for income generation. Then, as I told, like for pest controllers, birds are a pest controllers for us. You don't need to add any synthetic pesticides. No need for any synthetic pesticides. Just use natural pest controllers, biopest controllers that are birds. So, as I have told at many points in my slides, I think you would have gotten your answer from there.
Yeah. Thank you, Atmaza. Once again, I congratulate you on behalf of our college. And since our time is very short and we are running out of time, so I would now like to invite our next resource person, Mr. Manavendra Kalita. So Manavendra Kalita, he is assistant professor from DK College, Mirja, Assam. And today he will be delivering his lecture on the topic Biohazard, its impact on environment, health, and safety. So I'd like to invite now Mr. Manavendra Kalita to kindly present his topic.
Thank you, ma'am. Namaskar. Good afternoon to one and all. I'm audible?
Yes, you are. Please continue.
Yes, ma'am. As we all know, this pandemic situation, COVID-19 situation, blocks all our physical context, physical meetings, but simultaneously it opens a new era to meet us in this type of virtual platforms for some good reason. So today is World Environment Day, 5th June. All over the world, many people, science, both arts and science background people, celebrate this day as Environment Day, as we all know. So I am thankful to Bahona College, Madam, for giving me this opportunity to share some of my thoughts before you. So I am directly presenting my PPT. Yes. So my topic is biohazard, environment, health, and safety. I would like to introduce myself. As ma'am said, I am Manavendra Kalita. I'm working as an assistant professor in the Department of Biotechnology, Dakshin Kamrup College, Mirza, as well as I am the coordinator of Environment and Climate Cell there. And let's go to the next slide. Today is World Environment Day. We all know it's 5th June. Okay, let's. I want to start with some beautiful pictures of environment. I especially took these pictures from Assam and Northeast area. So first one is tea garden picture. As we all know, that tea garden is famous all over the world, as Assam produced tea for all for the world. And in the second picture, we can see the rhino. This is one of our pride of Assam, one-horned rhino. And in the third picture, we can see deers. They are enjoying the environment. And in the fourth, some buffaloes in the environment, nature. And these are some pictures from Northeast. First one is from Meghalaya, Serapunji. And the second one is from Tawang. And third one is also from Meghalaya. And last one is village, sustainable village. And why I'm showing these pictures to you, that to see how the environment is beautiful and what we are doing to this environment. So in the second slide, we can see in the first picture, why environment. Friends share sandwiches or pizza. So when we sit with our friends, we share some foodstuffs like sandwiches, pizza, we share. And in the next picture, we can see two siblings share same parents. In this image, we can see the father and mother is having two child and their siblings, and they're sharing the same parents. And in the last one, a family shares a same house. All these pictures, what I'm trying to show you, we in our daily life, the human being, share many things. We share parents, we share our same homes, we share foodstuffs, we share many things, clothes, with our friends, relatives. So, similarly, it is an interesting slide. Can you now imagine of something what we all share? That is nothing but the answer is environment. Yes, the answer is environment. So we all living organisms, starting from bacteria, plants, animals, human being, we all share the environment. Previously, I have shown the pictures, friends sharing some foodstuffs, siblings sharing their own parents, if you have happy family sharing same house. Likewise, we all share the environment. So the environment is where we all meet, where we all have a mutual interest. It is the one thing that all of us share. It is well known. Why is the World Environment Day celebrated? As my previous speaker already mentioned about Environment Day and the theme of this year. So why the Environment Day is celebrated? The Environment Day is celebrated on the 5th June every year to remind people about the importance of nature. It is celebrated across the globe to tell people that nature should not be taken for granted and must be respected for its values. These things we all know. I just brushing you all that why we are celebrating the environment and how environment is important to us. So in this slide, we don't own the planet Earth. It is a very important line. We don't own the planet Earth. We belong to it. And we must share it with our wildlife. So we don't own the planet Earth. Just remember it. We don't own the planet Earth. We belong to it. Likewise, other wildlife, plants, animals, other living organisms, also the part of environment, part of the earth. So we have to share the environment with all the living entities. So with this, actually, as it is the Environment Day, I have included these slides for you. So actually my trust area for today is biohazards. So what is hazards actually? A hazard is a potential source to harm. A hazard is a potential source to harm. So we are human being. We live in this environment. We live in this world. So we can see now this is the pandemic situation due to a virus, coronavirus, SARS-CoV-2. All the world is affected, and this is also one kind of hazard, that is biohazard. I will come to that later. So hazard, I can classify it as 6 types. What are the 6 types of hazards? First one is chemical hazards. Chemical hazards. We know about chemicals. The chemicals, the intrinsic nature of the chemical, if it affects human health or human body, then it can be regarded as hazard. Likewise, next one is physical hazards. Physical hazards means natural calamity like flood, earthquake. This can be included in the physical hazard. Next one is genetic hazard. Genetic hazard, we are very familiar nowadays with this genetic word. Many plant material and organisms are made by using the recombinant DNA technology, doing the genetic engineering actually. So changing the DNA in an organisms, we are changing the characters within the organisms. Sometimes this type of experiments may result hazard to human being. Every time it is not necessarily necessary that genetic engineering products are useful to us. Many more genetic materials, genetic engineering, genetically engineered, we call it as GMO, genetically modified organisms, they may be hazardous to us. So after making the GMOs, it must follow the testing procedures, then only it should come to the people. So next one is psychological. So as I have told, hazard is a source from where human body or human being can be harmed. Fourth category is psychological. So we can see the human being is affected by many factors, biological and environmental, and goes depressed, and those are some they face some psychological problems, and due to that problem they suffer from many health issues. So psychological hazards is also there. Next one is radiation. My previous speaker has also already mentioned about synovial effect. So their nuclear exposure to the environment, to the people, makes that tragic situation. So radiation may be one of the type of hazard. We know about various rays, X-rays, gamma rays, then UV rays. So these rays, we know that UV rays, ultraviolet rays, may affect us and may cause skin cancer by doing the DNA damage within the cells. So radiation may be regarded also as hazard. And last category is the biohazards. Biohazards. So I'm going to biohazards. Before going to biohazard, as I have mentioned, what is hazard? That is a situation that poses a level of threat to life, health, property, or environment. So, to become a hazard, there must be an incident. So, we can take the example of COVID-19. As we all know, it was started in 2019 December in China, Wuhan city. So it was predicted that it somehow comes from animal to human body, and now it is spreading all over the world. So I'm trying to say that that virus may be present in an animal, but it was not present in the human being, even in China. So there must be one incident. From that incident, from that specific animal, maybe the virus comes to the human body and it becomes infectious, and from that human, it is spreading over the world. Now we are not afraid of the animals, so coronavirus is spreading from human to human being. It is not spreading from the animals, but it was predicted that it was zootonic, or it was spread from the animals. So what I'm trying to say is, for becoming an agent to be hazard, there must be one incident. So an hazard is regarded as hazard if incident occurs to occur emergency situation. So hazards are many, I'll say about that. Hazards are normally in the dormant conditions, but when it is active, when it is come to active form, it may be dangerous to our health. So dormant state hazards are normally present in the dormant state, but when it becomes active, it may cause disease or it may affect our health. So I'm coming to biohazards. So what is biohazard? It is very much greatest threat to humankind. We all know. Biohazards mainly are the biological agents. As the word we can see, bio and the hazard. I have told the meaning of hazard, and it is biohazard. So biohazards are the biological agents. So what are the biological agents? It may be virus, we all know. It may be bacteria. It may be plants or plant products. It may be animals. Starting from microorganisms to multicellular organisms, all may be regarded as biological agents to affect human health, and those may be regarded as biohazards. So we have mentioned about microorganisms. We all know about viruses nowadays, then bacteria and fungi. Some fungi are, even bacteria, are helpful to us also, and some are harmful. Likewise, fungi, we eat mushrooms, those are also fungi, and fungi, and some are harmful to us. So parasites, plants, animals, and their byproducts. We have mentioned it. Biological agents, when it becomes active, risks to human health or other animals. So, what are the health risks from microorganisms? We all know microorganisms, or micro is an organism that is so small, that is microscopic. It is not visible to the naked eye. Science background people may know it. And starting from virus, we all know COVID-19 is a disease which is caused by the virus SARS-CoV-2. Then we are aware about HIV, hepatitis, mumps, influenza, etc. These are the diseases which are caused by the microorganism, mainly viruses. These are caused by viruses. Likewise, bacteria can also infect us. These are some diseases which can be caused by bacteria: tuberculosis, diphtheria, cholera, tetanus, typhoid, etc. And fungi also, they cause some diseases like ringworm, candidiasis, aspergillosis. So they form the fungus. They form some spores, and they infect the human being. Especially, they infect the outer body covering, that is skin. They infect the skin, but bacteria and viruses, they may affect the internal organs of our body. So the next slide. I have mentioned about the microorganisms, viruses, bacteria, fungi. And another one, biological agents, those are parasites, animals and plant and their byproducts. The first one is parasites. So what are parasites? What is parasitism? Parasitism is a non-mutual symbiotic relationship between species. So what is symbiotic relationship? If two species live together and both are beneficial, each of them give benefit to the other, then that relationship is known as symbiotic relationship. But in parasitism, it is not like that. In parasitism, it is not symbiotic relationship. It is between species, where one species, the parasite, benefits at the expense of the other, the host. They can be seen by naked eye. Some parasites can be seen by naked eye. So in our body also, there are many parasites where they live, where they get nourished from our body. We can take the example of bacteria present in our body, in our intestinal gut. These are some examples of parasitic disease: ascariasis, cysticercosis, metagnomoniasis. So these are some diseases which are caused by some fluke or some parasites. We can call it as parasites. Even if we take the example of cysticercosis, so many people nowadays consume pork. In pork, if it is not well cooked, so some parasites may enter to our body and may cause some cyst in our body. That disease is known as cysticercosis. Likewise, animals, plants, and their byproducts may also affect us. Those may also be regarded as biohazards. So, from plants, allergens, in the plant, the pollen grains, some pollen grains may cause allergies in our body, and those are mentioned as allergens. Allergens may be any kind of substance which may cause allergy to our body, which may cause some reaction in our body. So those are mentioned as allergens. Mainly bacteria may be allergens, plant material may be allergen. So the pollen grains, some pollen grains, they may be allergens and they may cause harmful effect to our body. Poisons, plant and animals. Some plants mainly produce some products in their biochemical processes. Those are known as secondary metabolites. And also the animals, like we can take the example of snakes. Snake or some example of insects, they produce some chemicals in their body. That chemical do not affect them, but if somehow it enters to our body, they may affect our body. So they may be regarded as poison, they may be poisonous to our health. Likewise, some byproducts which we directly do not consume, which spread toxins or disease causing bioagents. We can take example of leather. Leather is obtained from animals. We use it to wear jackets, shoes. From leather, jacket shoes are prepared. So, in leather, if it is not well processed, it may some microorganisms or somehow some hazardous agents may be there and may be poisonous to our health as biohazards. Next, I can say type of biohazards. So, what are the types of biohazards? We can see the number one is solid biohazards. Solid biohazards. What are the solid biohazards? So, solid biohazards are mainly laboratory, medical, municipal, industrial solid waste material contaminated with harmful bioagents. So we have already mentioned what may be the bioagents. They may be viruses, they may be bacteria, they may be parasites, they may be plant byproducts. And whenever we feel uncomfortable, we feel like disease condition, we go to clinic, we go to doctor, and doctor prescribe us to do some medical experiments. So we go to diagnostic centers. In that centers, in the laboratory, in medical, there are some, so we feel disease condition. So when we go there, somehow if they are not aware, these viruses, these bacteria like coronavirus may spread there, and from that medical to the healthy people also, they may be spread. So what are the substances used in the medicals and from where the bioagents may spread their community? So we can see in the first picture cotton swab. Now we all can recognize this as in the rapid test of coronavirus. They are taking the swab for detecting the presence of the virus in our body. So they use swab testing. This is the cotton swab. Then gloves. Then some flasks where they use some chemicals to keep there. Files. These all are the materials used in the medical or laboratory. We never see that after the uses of these products, after the uses of these materials, if they are not well processed or if they are not made for contamination free material, then it may directly go to the municipal waste or as a solid waste in the open area, and from that open area, from these substances, disease may spread. So these are some solid biohazard I have mentioned. Next one is liquid biohazard, laboratory waste, medical waste, different animal fluids, including blood, serum, amniotic fluid, saliva, etc. When you go to medical or diagnostic laboratory, so they take samples from us. If it is not well handled, then the contaminants, the bioagents may come from that material and they may affect our body. So this I have given the picture of media prepared in the laboratories. We use nutrient media to grow the microorganisms for some experiments which are non-pathogenic, like E. coli, Escherichia coli. In the normal laboratory, general laboratory, we use these experiments. So if it is not processed well, if it is not contaminated, it is not done with contaminant free, or it is not autoclaved, then the bacteria or the microbial colony may enter to the environment. And if it is a pathogenic bacteria or pathogenic microorganism, then it may affect the environment as well as the human health. So different cultures used to grow microbe in laboratory, blood samples, etc. are the liquid biohazards. Then occupational exposure to amniotic fluid, saliva in hospitals or laboratory, these are all liquid biohazards. Then sharp materials used in medical or diagnostic centers. Anything with a point or edge capable of piercing or cutting and which are contaminated with harmful bioagents. These are sharp biomaterial mainly used in hospital and surgeries, in laboratory for various purposes. We can see the pictures. Now we can understand these sharp materials are used in the medicals and diagnostic centers to diagnose us, and they may be contaminated with microbes if they are not well processed after using it. Then it may go to the environment, the bioagents may go to the environment and make our health very poor or make some diseases. What are the mode of transmissions of biohazards? As we have mentioned, we all know in this situation, pandemic situation. So we are instructed to avoid social gathering. We are instructed for social distancing, as some infected people, anyone who is infected with the coronavirus, if they sneeze or if they cough, in that sample, in that sneeze or cough, the virus or the microbe or the biohazards, biological agent may come contact with your body, and it may affect you also. So these are the mode of transmission. We all know about this. So next one is careless handling. Careless handling. Many awareness posters are seen in the roadside area by the government about the awareness of HIV, that HIV virus may be transmitted from one person to another person if they use same needle. So if a person is infected with one microbe or bioagent, it is possible if the same needle is used in two person, then from one person to the another person, the microbe may be transmitted. Then we can see from flies, it may be transmitted. Then mosquitoes. This is one picture, one very common picture, dumping of biohazards in open places. Everywhere we can see, actually we are not aware, everywhere we can see this dumping ground where hello
ना तो ये खराब होंगे गर्दे को नहीं मसान भी नुकसान दे हुआ है पर्यावरण में भी नुकसान दे हुआ है
okay we can see this picture, the dumping ground, open dumping ground, open place where the city people dump the home waste. The industries, they do not use the proper protocol or SOP to recycle or to make the contaminant free waste, and they directly place the waste in the open space. And we can understand from this garbage, the microorganisms or the biological agents, virus, bacteria, and others may be transmitted to the human body and cause serious diseases. So we have to be aware. We should make aware the other peoples. So this type of things should not happen. And here I have mentioned about zootonic disease, as now it is a COVID-19 situation. It is said that this COVID-19 or the coronavirus SARS-CoV-2 actually transmitted from animals. Actually, what is zootonic disease? Zootonic disease is a disease which is spread from one species to another species. From one species, the cause of disease, that may be biohazards, it is transmitted to another species, that is zootonic diseases. So here I have mentioned about some animals or carriers of disease from where human can be infected and cause some disease. So we can see the cat, you can see the cat, birds, mammals, rat, etc. And these are some of the names of the microorganisms. These are the animal carrier, and these are the names, some names of the human disease. The very famous one is plague. We all know about plague, and cat scratch disease also caused by cats, but it is caused by one bacteria. So I have mentioned many here just to make you understand. So zoonoses are the infectious diseases I have mentioned that can spread from animal to human. Zoonoses are the infectious diseases that can spread from animal to human. So you'll be amazed to see up to 75% of the new diseases affecting people over the past 10 years originated from animals. There are about 150 zoonotic diseases worldwide which are transmitted to humans by both wild and domesticated animals. So this is the very sad part. 13 zoonoses are responsible for 2.2 million deaths per year. This includes influenza, tuberculosis, rabies, etc. And controlling or eradicating zoonotic diseases in animals is more effective than in humans. So this is a part we should aware of. In human, we can now see during coronavirus, it is very hard to eradicate that disease from human community. Many government has made vaccines just to prevent that disease. But it is very useful, it is very common to control these type of diseases. It is very easy to control this type of diseases in animals, this type of zoonotic disease in animals. If we focus in that area, then if the animals are not infected with the microbes or the biohazards, then there is a less chance of being infected from the animals. So this part is very important part. In the next picture, I have shown the whole cycle of the infection of biohazard. The first one is the infectious agent, that may be bacteria, that may be fungus, that may be virus. It requires a reservoir. That means your hand and exposure is required to cause the disease. You can see the pictures. So they require reservoirs, and from the reservoirs, they search for portals of entry. You can see the eye, the nose, the mouth, or through blood. So they search for the reservoirs. On the reservoirs, the infectious agents search for the portals of entry. If they are now entered to our body, then it is open for transmission. So there are some mode of transmission. Now lockdown is there in Assam and other parts of India, as well as in other countries, to avoid these portals of entry, to avoid the exposure to the reservoirs of the infectious agents. So through these modes, cars, through water, through other vehicles or communicative vehicles, airplanes, from one country to another. So from there, the infectious agents may be transmitted. So next is portals of exit. If a person is infected, then the person become the host for that organism or for that bioagent, and there are some portals of exit from that human body to infect other human body. So these are some portals of exit of the infectious agents, like cow dung, like nasal thing, then blood, cough, and then they search for a susceptible host. Then again, the cycle starts. The infectious agents again go to reservoir, portals of entry, then transmitted through the other modes, then portals of exit, then again susceptible host. So this is the complete cycle of the how biohazards works actually. So hazards in our environment. Now here's a line I have given. I am an optimist, but I am an optimist who carries a raincoat. So it was said by Harold Wilson, former president of UK. So I am an optimist, but I am an optimist who carries a raincoat. So awareness must be required. Awareness must be required to avoid this type of biohazards. So you should be optimist, but please the carry the raincoat. Raincoat here means to follow the instructions to avoid coronavirus nowadays and to avoid other diseases in the coming days also. Biohazards and our concerns. So in the topic, I have mentioned about environment, we have seen, now health and safety. So biohazards mainly classified by UN in many categories. I'll not go too deep into this topic. So category 1, just infectious agents which can infect humans. Category A, this is some number, infectious substance affecting animals only. Category B, and 3373, then 32791. So these are some categories. So number 1 is affecting humans, number 2 is affecting animals only, number 3 is diagnostic or investigative purposes, number 4 is waste or reusable material derived from medical treatment of an animal or human or from biomedical resources. So there are some biosafety levels. There are some biosafety levels even when we use the laboratories. There are some even when we use the one instrument called laminar airflow, that is also categorized in many to differentiate the safety levels. So safety level 1, safety 2, safety 3. Likewise, it was differentiated. Likewise, biohazards are also differentiated in many levels depending on the risk or safety levels, we can say it as. Level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4. So what is level 1? It is minimum threat to human and environment. So we can take the example of E. coli. It is not very pathogenic to us. It is not pathogenic to us. So, but it can cause some issues in our health. So it can be regarded in level 1. Likewise, severe illness, then severe disease, and then cause life-threatening disease. These are categorized in many, level 1, level 2, level 3, and level 4. Safety first. Safety is everybody's job. So we should protect the environment. We should be aware and we work for the awareness. So why we should know this? What is our responsibilities? So we have seen the agents from where we can be infected, from where our health may lead to some diseases. What we can do? What we can do? So in this, use designated dustbin. So do not use the open dustbin, as if there is some, if you see, if there is some microorganisms which can infect us. So it may be airborne. No? So it may be airborne, it may go to air and infect other bodies. So it should not be open, it should be closed like this. And those should be designated with the symbol. Handling of liquid waste. If we do work in diagnostic laboratories, then if we handle blood samples or saliva, the person have not used the gloves for this blood sample. This blood may contain some infectious agents. It may go directly to its skin and to enter the body. So this can be harmful to us. So we must be taken care of. We should take care precautions. So gloves should be wear in this type of liquid handling. And in the laboratories where we work, there should be a caution biohazard, no food, no drink, and all the waste in the laboratories should be sterilized before disposing. This is, many people can recognize this one, I think. This is one image of autoclave, where in a specific pressure and temperature we sterilize the materials. So before going out from the laboratory, all the waste should be sterilized. All the waste should be contamination free. So this can be done by us. And in this slide, I have shown you blood-borne pathogen safety. So earlier I have mentioned, if you are handling liquid samples, if you are handling saliva samples, if you are handling with some blood samples, just be doubtful, because that blood may contain biological agents, biohazards. So here, treat all fluids as infectious. So if you are taking care of some liquid substances in diagnostic center or laboratories or medicals, hospitals, so just be doubtful that this person may be infected, this person may be diseased person. So this blood may contain some viruses, some bacteria, or some biohazards. So just be doubtful before handling this type of samples. Treat all fluids are infectious. Always handle blood if it is infectious. Use personal protective equipment before handling. Clean up the right way. Use safe practices. You can see the symbol, and we can use the disposal of this waste material in this type of dustbins. Protect yourself first. So these are very basic things, but we should be keep in our mind before handling those type of samples. So in this slide, it is a very painful situation actually. In the developing world, 90% of sewage goes directly into lakes, rivers, and oceans. So what we can do, we can categorize the waste like this type of dustbins. So we can start in our school, in our college, to keep this type of dustbin also. So to aware the students, to aware the other people who come to that educational institutes, and this must be used in medical or hospitals. So we can see the red bags. What it should be contained? Plastic waste such as injections, catheters, syringes, tubings, bottles, etc. in the red bags or red dustbin. In the blue bags, all type of glass bottles and articles, outdated, discarded medicines, it should be in the blue bags. In the yellow bags, infectious waste. So medical person may know infectious waste, where the infectious waste may come. Laboratory materials, bandages, gauzes, cottons, any other things in connect with body fluids, human body. Then last one is black bags, needless without syringes, blades, sharps, and all other articles. So these are categorized into four colors: red, blue, yellow, black, and those are categorized to differentiate different types of waste. So we can use this concept in our places too. So these are some biomedical waste management in Assam, how they are managed. 10 category here: human anatomical waste, animal waste, how they are treated in Assam. In the medical, how they should be treated actually. I don't know whether they use it or not. So these are some methods how they can be treated or how they can be released into the environment with contamination-free waste. This is one chart where we can use some techniques before disposal. the SARPs, laboratory pipetting things, solid waste, liquid waste. So different procedures are there to eradicate those waste in the environment with contamination-free condition. So this is a very well-known process, incineration, proper destruction of biohazardous substances. I think it is a picture from Singapore. So in this process, the waste materials are kept in a very high temperature, and every biological agents are destroyed there, and then only the waste is released to the environment. And it is not harmful to the environment. The process has proven that. And next one is public awareness, as we all know, to make us healthy, to make us contamination free. Public must be aware. We are using mask sanitizers in this COVID situation, so it should be there in our future life too. So, in this last slide, last but not the least, sustainable living is important with all the living entities. Sustainable living and coexistence with nature is the mantra for maintaining the balanced ecosystem. As today is the Environmental Day, the Environment Day, the 5th June, all over the world it is celebrated to aware people. So the main mantra, I think, that is sustainable living, means coexistence. Coexistence. We should live with others too, and we should not disturb our environment because we do not owe the environment. We belong to it. And so thank you all for giving me this opportunity to say a few of my ideas before you. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Manavendra. It was a wonderful presentation, I'd like to say. You explained very well about biohazard, how we should create awareness against it and all. So it was a wonderful explanation presentation by you on this World Environment Day. And I think we also take a pledge that we will coexist with the nature as we belong to nature. So I would like to request all of us to kindly take a pledge that we will save our planet Earth and we will not deteriorate it anymore. So our time is very short. We're already running 1 hour late. We are extremely very sorry for that due to technical reason. So I'd like to request our participants if they have any query or any observation or any words of appreciation about our speaker, I would like to request you to kindly unmute and you can directly interact with the resource person. So this session is now open for discussion. Anyone? Any words? Any observation till now? I think they are all getting late. We are really very thankful to both of our resource persons, Ms. Atmaza and also Mr. Manavendra Kalita, for accepting our invitation on this World Environment Day, on the occasion of this day, into this national webinar, and doing very, very justice to your topics. You really spoken very well. And I would also like to thank all our participants for showing this help, cooperation, passions, without which this webinar would not have been possible. So I'd like to thank all of you who were present here amidst all this technical problem and in between this COVID-19 pandemic. So stay safe, stay in your homes. Thank you everyone. Good night.